regard to failing schools, another area to look at is our federal policies under No Child Left Behind in particular. And the policies of that major piece of federal legislation have caused students to participate in assessments, and as a result of participating in those assessments, they have not done well. And I'm talking about two particular populations of students: English language learners, and federal policy requires that after 1 year in a public school, regardless of your proficiency level, you must sit for those accountability tests, the English language arts tests. And we know that many students, English language learners, especially if they come from countries with interrupted education, don't do well on those assessments. And research says that it takes somewhere between 5 and 7 years to really become proficient in English, in the language of English. And the other group are students with disabilities. And students with disabilities, certainly both populations needed to be afforded access to the state's testing system, but students with disabilities, it must sit for those assessments as well. And there's a small group of students called the 1% students, of students with severe cognitive disabilities, that are given an alternate assessment based on alternate achievement standards. But students with disabilities who may, because of cognitive ability, their cognitive abilities are falling 2, 3, 4 years below their age-appropriate peers, must still sit for those English arts assessments and those math assessments based upon their chronological age. So they take a test that is commensurate with their peers who are the same chronological age, but mentally, cognitively, they are many years below in their reading abilities and may not have progressed in the general education curriculum far enough. They are learning, but they have not progressed far enough in the general education curriculum to be successful on those tests. So we have two major groups, in addition to certainly students living in poverty often do not do well on those assessments because they haven't had the same experiences. And as a result of those two populations, particularly ELLs and students with disabilities, many of our failing schools are failing because of those populations and because of those onerous federal policies which need to be addressed in the next reauthorization.
Wow.